Hi everyone, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. I'm so glad you're here. I wasn't here last week because it was Labor Day. I hope everyone had a great holiday here in the U.S. And then this past weekend, I had a nice holiday weekend. Then this past weekend, I went to a Stampin' Up! Event for demonstrators, and it was very nice to see people I hadn't seen in a while. Get a little training and do some card making. So, if you're new to watching me, welcome. Please, tonight, if you like my video, please comment. Please share my video and comment share down in the comments, and your name then will be entered and then I'll randomly choose a name to win the project I'm working on tonight. Last time we were together, if you recall, I made these cards. This is the stack, slice, and shuffle technique. So one of these cards will be going to Jessica Williams, because Jessica did just that. She shared my video, comment shared, and her name was randomly chosen from all of those who did that. So thank you, Jessica. I'll get that card out to you very soon. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and then hit that little blue notification bell, and you'll be notified of whenever I upload a new video, which is usually Monday evenings. Also, on this video on Facebook, if you can't share, I understand, but I appreciate if you give me some hearts. Facebook likes the hearts better than the thumbs up. It helps my video be seen on the algorithm, and gives it a better place. It helps my small business, and it doesn't cost you anything. So, tonight we are going to make a Christmas card using some new product from the new mini catalog. I hope you all have placed your order. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to sell out and might not be available in another month or two. So if there's something you want, please get it right away. Please don't wait on that. So I am going to switch my hands, or the view to my hands, and we will get started. Okay, let me set my cards up here. Okay, so I used, for tonight's card, the bundle called Merriest Trees. And it's got the trees, it's got some great sentiments, it has some great dies to it. And I'm going to show you something which is really cool. When I was making this card, this was one of my initial ones. I didn't like the color combination, but this will help demonstrate. Here's the cool thing about this set, and I didn't realize it initially, but you can use this die to cut out a tall tree. You see where I'm going with this. Let me get this back on. This die, whoops, well, it goes this way, cuts out this tree. You can cut out this right here. Let me see. And there's this one here for the top two. And then you can use this one for that. Now you probably wouldn't, you're like, why would you do that? You wouldn't have a tree with just two parts, but what you could do is cut the tree apart and then make some dimensional projects with it, which I think is really cool. So we're going to be using this stamp set today. Let me show you, here's the card, okay? And this uses, let me see, this is Parakeet Party ink. This was the Granny Apple Green. I was trying to decide which I liked better. I wanted the lighter, brighter, and so I actually went with Parakeet Party. So, and I just realized I didn't grab my mini stamp and emboss machine, so let me do that here. There we go. Okay, now we are ready to go. So, this card also, let me put this over here and this over here. This card also uses some Designer Series paper from the new catalog. This is called Merry, Bold, and Bright. And this is my favorite type. I kind of like non-traditional colors for Christmas, but check this out. These two sides to this paper. La, 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 la. It's got some great... Now it has two kinds of strings of lights. These are kind of the old-fashioned rounded ones, and these are the more modern lights. So there's actually four sheets of 12 by 12 paper that have these strings of lights in them. So I think that those are really cool. Okay. So this is a little non-traditional because, you know, we don't usually see blues, but then this card opens like this. I just thought it was a lot of fun, so we are going to work on putting this together, okay? Start out with a piece of thick basic white. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold this in half like this, okay? Let me get my bone folder here so I get a nice crisp edge. And when I made this card, I purposely made sure that it didn't have a lot of thickness to it, because you know what, it would be extra postage, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I tried to do Christmas cards, at least the ones I'm going to mail, that I do them kind of flat, no more than one thickness of dimensionals. Okay, so you can see that this is a regular card base, but we have to cut this here. So after you've cut or folded your card base, you know, just decide which one is your front. Put this in your trimmer. So I've got, you don't have to really measure. So up here is in the groove, and down at the bottom is in this groove. And then you're just going to slice that piece off, okay? That's all you have to do. And now we have the base of the card all ready to go. Okay. Now you're going to use 2 pieces of designer series paper, and they are going to be 5 1/4 by 4, and you want stuff that coordinates. Now my pieces, they were a front and a back, so I just decided to stay with that. So whichever side you use for the front, you're going to cut it, they're the same size, but you're going to cut it on a diagonal like this, okay? So I thought when I cut this and put this on the front for my sample, I thought, well, the next time I make it, I'll turn it over and use the tree side. But you know what? It doesn't work because the trees go, or the cut is the wrong direction, okay? Because this is the other piece of that. So I guess we're making this the very same way, but whichever piece you want in the front, that's the one you're going to cut, and you'll do 2 cards that way. Watch your directions if you're doing this. You know, this is bi-directional paper. It doesn't make much difference which way it goes. These trees are upside down and right side up. But if you intend to use both pieces of this and you've got a directional pattern, it's going to be upside down on one of them. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding on what piece of paper you want to use, okay? So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put this on the inside. And like I said, this was 5 1/4 by 4, and there was 2, I cut 2 pieces of this. Okay, so there we go, there's that. And because this piece was the same size and I just cut it in half diagonally, I know it's going to fit here. So you can see it better. You can see it's going to fit on there just right. You know, sometimes you have to do a dry run to realize some of the things. You think something's going to work and it doesn't. By no fault of your own, it's just something you didn't realize. Hold on here. I'm going to get a little bit of adhesive right up there. There we go. With our adhesive, our Stampin' Seal, usually a lighter touch is better. go. Okay, so that's that portion right there. Now I have a piece of garden green, and this is 3 by 8.5. I'm going to fold that in half, okay? Fold that in half. Here, use my bone folder. There we go. Now we're going to put a piece on the a piece of. I use the Scalloped Contours dies. If you didn't want, you know, for the insert and then the backing for my tree, if you didn't want it scalloped, you could just use a piece of white, you know, cut into a rectangle. Also, the other thing is the deckled rectangles would look really good for this too. So I'm going to put one on the front. I'm going to put one on the inside to write my greeting. I just think this is kind of a fun card. It's different, it's unusual, it's unexpected. Okay, we are about ready to start stamping. I think I'll go ahead and attach this to the card because it won't make any difference for the rest of what we do. So when you do this, you know, kind of put it like this, trying to find the middle. If you've got stripes like this, I always look, does it look lined up? I mean, these trees are essentially a stripe. Do they look lined up? Yep, they do. It looks pretty centered. There we go. So there is the, oops, that was a little crooked. Let me see here. I think I can get this off. See, this is the good lesson. Don't push it down completely until you're absolutely sure. I thought I had it straight, but not completely. Put a little more adhesive. I'll try this one more time here. This time I'm going to go like this. I'm not going to put it down hard. Okay, that looks better. There we are. Okay, I'm gonna just set this off to the side right now. Put that right up there. Okay, now we're gonna start some stamping. So I'm gonna stamp our tree. The first thing I'm gonna do is the solid image with Parakeet Party. Now with these larger stamps, and you're gonna have a solid image, when you put them on your block, try to make sure you don't have an air bubble behind it. I had an air bubble and it can show up, and so I'm looking in here, and the nice thing about the photopolymer is you can tell if you've got an air bubble. So we're going to do this. Sometimes when I am stamping these solid images, I like to use a positioning tool like the Stamparatus, if you have one of those. And look, if you look at that, you can see where I haven't completely, there we go. My ink now is, I think I'm going to be good. We're going to try this. Let's see. Nope. Okay. We're going to turn it over and try again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you know, we're going to be cutting off the bottom of this tree anyway. We're only going to use the 4 top pieces, so the very bottom one I don't care so much about. So let's try this one more time here. There we go. But if you rock this just a little bit, I know we teach you not to rock it, but sometimes if you rock it just a little bit, it helps get a good image. There we go. Like I said, we're going to cut that off, so I don't care so much about that. Okay, and that was Parakeet Party. Who'd have thought that that would have been the color to go with? But I was pulling out of this designer series paper. Now we're going to stamp use the stamp that has the highlights, for lack of a better word, and for that I'm going to use garden green. Okay, and because this is photopolymer, it is really easy to see the placement. Okay, make sure. The other thing I like to do is make sure I've got ink on all the spots. Let's see. Yep, that looks better. Again, I don't care so much about the bottom one. Not for this project. And hold on, I'm going to try not to get my head in the way of the camera. Got a little glare, so I'm having some hard time seeing here. Okay. I think we're good to go. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I got a little ink over here, but again, that's going to go away. And while we are stamping, I am going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment, okay? This is just a scrap piece of basic white. I'm using the Hoping Your Home is Filled with the Spirit of the Season. For me, when I'm doing a sentiment that's really tight in the strip, because this is only a 1/2 inch thick, I kind of like to stamp it on a bigger piece of paper and then trim it down. So I'm going to stamp this as close to the edge as I can, kind of in the middle. There we go. And then I'm going to trim it down. Now, if you were doing multiple, you know, making this in mass quantities, again, this is where a positioner tool would help, or, you know, pre-cutting the strips. Okay, so I want this a 1/2 inch. And I know that on this little trimmer, the edge of this metal blade is a 1/2 inch. And I think this is going to be just right. Perfect. Oops, except I didn't like the way it cut. Hold on here. What do I want to do? Where is my... See if this works here. Where did those go to? Huh. I've moved them around here. Where are they at? Well, I was trying to get this frayed edge off, and I have some little sanding blocks that I use. They're for nails. I don't know where they're at right now. I can't find them. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get another piece. I'm going to re-stamp it, because that edge is kind of, you know, frilly. It's kind of ragged. So we're going to re-stamp this again. I don't usually get that with that little cutter, so sometimes it happens. Oops, I'm going to make sure this is a straight edge. So I'm going to trim it up. There we go. That's scrap. I've got a nice straight edge here because I just made it. Perfect. Okay, we're going to try this again. This time I'm not going to put everything away till I'm sure I've cut it right. Again, I know the edge of this metal blade is a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to use that as my guide. There we go. Much better. Much better. Put my ink away. We are good. Now I'm going to use the banner punch and use it to punch out the banners on the end. So I might have to take one or a little more. Now this has 3 grooves in it, a 1/2 inch, a 3/4, and a 1 inch. So when I use this, I try to use, why is this not going in? There we go. Try to use one that is the exact size of the channel, but if not, then I have to kind of, if it's a little bit bigger than it, then I have to kind of make sure it's centered, because I have to use a larger channel. There we go. Is that going to be, it's going to be a little too long. I'm going to go one more time on that, take another one off, which is okay. Yep, that's closer. And I'm going to do this over here. see, is that too long? Is that about right? A little more off of this. I might not go all the way. In which case, I'm going to put it in that channel for the 1/2 inch piece of paper. I'm going to watch it here and maybe just not cut off a full amount. Let's see if that works for me. Is that about the right? Much closer. I think I'm going to go just as it is. So, okay. This is my piece that I need to get the die cut here. My mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, my paper's too wide. Clearly I didn't think this out all the way, did I? Again, I don't care so much about the bottom one because we're not going to use that. Okay. So pull my dies. I'm going to put, this is the one that is the top 4. I'm going to get a little piece of washi tape here just to secure it. Let me find a piece. Here we go. Because when I'm on camera, sometimes I don't do a very good job of that. Because I'm under pressure. I'm just joking. It's only ink and paper. If I mess it up, I can do it again. It's not like it's a fine metal like gold or something like that. Okay, so let's turn this over. I keep those in the machine upside down like that. Helps keep them flat. That's why I store it like that. So I'm going to run that through the machine. Looks like that larger die might fit through there. It'd be tight, but it looks like it might fit through. So let's pull that off of there. Okay, and there's our tree. And then we've got a couple more things to die cut here. Let me put this away. We are going to die cut a star for the top and some streamers for the tree. So, before we do that, though, I want to show you. This is out of the holiday catalog. Let me get the big packet. You get 2 sheets of 12 by 12 of the distressed gold paper. And I think it's pretty. It's not as in your face as the regular gold. It's more subdued, a little more rustic. But I decided to try it out. And I'm going to use, because these are very small pieces. Believe it or not, when I glued this in, I used Tombow glue. But I thought this is the perfect application for our adhesive sheets. They come in a package like this. You get 12 sheets that are 6 by 12, okay? So this piece of paper is 1.5 by 3. So I cut a piece of the adhesive sheet the same size. And I thought I'd show you how to apply it. What it does is essentially makes this piece of paper a sticker, okay? So I'm going to take this off like this. Probably should have taken the bigger one off. I'm going to put this on the back here. And remember, really, for most designs, you don't... Oh, what did I do? It took my sticky off. Well, that's weird. Okay, let me get the other piece then. But now I've got adhesive on my... I think I pulled the wrong piece off. I didn't pull the backing off. Whoops. Oh well. There's another piece in here. The same size. I don't even have to recut it. Okay, so let's see where. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, so this is where the sticky's at. I was thinking it was the other way. So I'm gonna put that on there, and this little piece on here. I probably should have cut it the other way so that I had a full piece, because there's a break. It's 6 inches wide, and every 2 inches there's a break in the cover sheet. Okay, so there we go. That's on. So we're going to put this, we're going to cut this out of it, and the star. Where are my, here we go, here's my plates. And because I'm not cutting out something that's a specific size, I'm just cutting out of this paper. I don't even need to worry about any, slow down, Denise. I don't need to worry about a piece of washi tape to hold it down. Okay, now we are done with this. So there's our star. It's a sticker. I just have to pull the back off. And here are the, we won't call them, the garland for the tree. And they're all sticky too. They have adhesive on the back. I'll see which is easier. Like I said, there's 5 different lengths. We're really only going to use the 4. We're not going to use the longest one. So I'll just put that over to the side. Okay. And I know some people don't like this kind of, you know, fiddly kind of stuff. And you know what? If you don't, that's fine. You could just put some rhinestones on it, some colored. There's lots of good, what do you call it? Embellishments, rhinestones in the new holiday catalog that would make great ornaments for the tree. But I wanted to use the die. Again, because I kind of wanted to keep my card flat. But, you know, everybody likes to do it differently. But you can see how easy this really is. Just take that backing off, and there we go. So I'm going to put this one this way. I love this garland. And I definitely think this adhesive sheet is the way to go. If you do not have adhesive sheet, you need to order some on your next order. Come on. There we go. Let's see. Let's put this one. And they fit these sections of the tree really well. So, if you're wanting to place an order, there's my website. Use that host code, if you would. Appreciate it. And we're going to put this one this way. There we go. And the star. So anyway, like I said, this adhesive sheet is a lot better to use than, you know, for really small things, I think, than Tombow. The advantage that you have with Tombow, and it was good last night when I was doing this one, is that you can move it around a little bit, you know, before it dries completely. So, I almost freaked out had the wrong side, and I forgot I flipped my paper over. So. And let's get a little small one for the top. I want to support the top of this as much as I can. Okay, where's my one I'm working on? Here we go. So I'm going to put this up here just a little bit because I need room for my sentiment banner on the bottom. I think that works. Okay, let's see. I'm going to cut. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one in the middle. Hold on, this piece. You can use every little bit. Use the edges too, because they don't. Because I don't want adhesive. I don't want dimensionals with adhesive hanging off the sides, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's see, where are my little scissors? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of put it right here and right here. Take that off. Then that way I know it won't go off the side of the paper. I took my backing off of that. Let me put these on. There we go. I think we are done with this card. So I hope you liked it. Again, I used the Merriest Trees bundle for this card. There are so many possibilities, but I really like the way that they designed these dies to cut out the different levels of the trees. I think it makes so many possibilities, and I think I'm going to kind of play with cutting the tree up into smaller pieces and doing something three-dimensional. I just got to find the time to do it. So I really hope you like this card today. Please share my video, comment, shared, and I might be sending it out to you next week. For now, so long, and I'll see you next Monday night for Stamping with Denise. Bye now.